NHL insiders give multiple Vancouver Canucks updates as one insider goes into exactly where Thatcher Demko is and how the Canucks management feels with their goaltender taking maintenance days. But not only that, we get a huge update on Kiefer Sherwood and his next contract with the Vancouver Canucks as an insider reveals how much the next contract will cost the Canucks. And we have so much to break down on this and Thatcher Demko, and you're not going to miss any of it. So let's just go straight into it today, where we do know Thatcher Demko missed both games this past weekend, which sent the media and fan base, including myself, into a bit of a frenzy as the goaltender was not with the team. Now, going into this, we know Adam Foote spoke on it. He said he may be. We'll see. We're going to take things as we wake up every morning. Now with this, Thatcher Demko was slated to possibly play one of the games on the weekend, but we do know going back to back against Columbus and Colorado, Thatcher Demko was not on the bench for either game, where Yuri Patera was an emergency call-up from Abbotsford, who's also dealing with a lot of injuries, Tolopilo and Ty Young going down with an injury. But with the goaltender out, we've seen Kevin Lankinen step in big for the Vancouver Canucks. Now listen, we're not going to touch on Kevin Lankinen too much, but back-to-back games, yes, an .844 save percentage doesn't look great, but the biggest thing is the goaltender played over 120 minutes in back-to-back days with the Vancouver Canucks, as he had to play both games with Yuri Patera as the backup on the team. Now looking at this, I want to give my big kudos to Kevin Lankinen pulling out 3 points over the two games, losing of course to Colorado. But listen, they demolished, they put belts to the Edmonton Oilers just the night before. The Canucks coming off a back-to-back. We know there's a lot of key injuries. Kevin Lankinen was playing back-to-backs, but the biggest thing is coming out with 3 points over these two games is big for the Vancouver Canucks. And listen, going into Kevin Lankinen, he signed his extension, not having the best year at an .879 save percentage, signing his $4.5 million extension with the Canucks this past summer. The goaltender has not been living up to exactly what we want, but the biggest thing is when looking at the Canucks is with Thatcher Demko having these maintenance day, being out, whatever is happening, which we're going to break down, having Kevin Lankinen step as the number one goaltender is big for this Canucks organization. Yes, 4.5 is a lot for a goaltender to play backup. But when looking at Abbotsford, you have Yuri Patera, Tolopilo, Ty Young. With these guys, there's not a lot of NHL experience between the three. So having a goaltender, a veteran, someone that's been around for quite some time, in Kevin Lankinen to step in situations like this is huge for the Canucks and their organization. And listen, when the team gets better, we'll see Kevin Lankinen get better. But the biggest thing is we get an update coming from Elliot Freeman on Thatcher Demko. He said the Canucks are not concerned with what Thatcher Demko is dealing with. And listen, this is the breath of fresh air. We've seen Adam Foote speak and say, hey, I don't want to call this a maintenance day, but he's taking some time. We know the Canucks goaltender has been on the last 3 practices with the Canucks. And listen, not team practices, but on the ice. The team was off today, no practices going in to their game tomorrow. But listen, Kevin Lankinen stepping in, and we see Thatcher Demko is slated to, at least projected to start the game versus the Winnipeg Jets. The biggest thing is getting Thatcher Demko fully healthy is the biggest thing this Canucks organization needs to do. Listen, when Thatcher Demko's healthy, we know what he can do. With the Canucks organization not being stressed out or worried about this, with the team off, Thatcher Demko getting back to form is exactly what this Canucks organization needs from their goaltender. A .912 save percentage over his 9 games with the Canucks. When he's healthy, he's a Vezina Canada goaltender, and keeping him healthy is the biggest thing for the Canucks. No hate to Abbotsford, but having Kevin Lankinen, it's a huge step in the backup goaltender. And listen, Thatcher Demko being ready for game 1 of the playoffs is exactly a big win for this Canucks organization. But what is your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think Thatcher Demko, who's slated to play versus the Winnipeg Jets, will be back? How many games does he play this year? Do you think it's going to be 50 or less? Let me know down in the comments. But this goes straight into the second topic today, where we know the hottest forward on the Vancouver Canucks, not named Conor Garland, is of course Kiefer Sherwood. Now going into this season, Kiefer Sherwood's projected on a 3-year, $3.5 million deal. The forward came off 19 goals and 40 points, a career high in everything with the Canucks last year, including a career high in hits as he broke the record for the most hits in the NHL history in a single season. Now with Kiefer Sherwood, he has been off to a hot start. Listen, the management group probably looked at this and said, hey, Kiefer might want 3.5. We want to see if the forward is going to continue doing what he's doing. Coming off a career year, you might kind of look at this and say, hey, maybe we don't sign him on this. Maybe he slows down a bit and we get him for cheaper. But the Canucks organization kind of messed up a bit where we know, speaking with various league sources this week, Kiefer Sherwood's next AAV may be in the $5 million range if he keeps producing offensively and physically this season. Now with the Vancouver Canucks, they have a huge decision to make. With Kiefer Sherwood, yes, signing him to 3.5 would have been incredible, and this is something the organization should have done. But with Kiefer Sherwood continuously to progress, 10 goals, 1 assist, 11 points. Listen, who cares if he's putting up assists? If he's going out to look like prime Gretzky out there with more speed, forechecking, everything in between, Kiefer Sherwood has been a huge bright spot for this Canucks organization, and getting him signed. Listen, a lot of people might look at this and say, hey, 5.5, 6 million might be too much for Kiefer Sherwood. Maybe he doesn't hit another 20, 30 goal season. Though, listen, looking at the stats, there's without a doubt Kiefer Sherwood is going to score 20 goals once again. But the biggest thing with Kiefer Sherwood, even if you sign him to this extension and he goes out to not replicate another 30-goal season, if he's on pace to score something like that, listen, Kiefer Sherwood's on pace to score 50 goals at this point, but if he did score a season where he has 15, 20 goals, you still get a lot out of this forward for that $5 to $5.5 million range. The first thing is, every single night you are going to get forward checking from Kiefer Sherwood, hits, scoring opportunities, and he can move up the lineup. Now with this, a lot of forwards in the NHL are a little one-dimensional. Listen, Kiefer Sherwood's not the best defensive player in the NHL, but someone that's going to go out and cause havoc on the offensive end. Something the Vancouver Canucks are thriving with on this team. We know Conor Garland, a pesky player. Kiefer Sherwood, a pesky and incredible player. This is the team that has a lot of players stepping up, the next man up mentality that we see the Canucks organization speak about again and again. Listen, yes, you need to sign some people. Yes, Victor Mancini needs a contract at the end of the year. I'm willing to bet he gets a 1x2, so a $1 million on a 2-year deal. As we've seen the Canucks management do this with almost everyone we've seen throughout the organization. Podkolzin was a name. There's multiple guys, Niels Höglander even. But signing guys like this, the Canucks are going to get an extra $10 million in cap space. We know the cap world is going to continuously inflate. $5 million is what's going to be seeing a lot of third-line getters in the seasons ahead. But I think the biggest thing is the Canucks organization cannot let Kiefer Sherwood walk. Looking at this, you can move him up and down the lineup. I mean, Kiefer Sherwood in your middle six is perfect. But fans, what is your thoughts? What is your thoughts on Thatcher Demko? Do you think we ever see 50 games out of him? Will he be ready for the playoffs? What is your thoughts on Kiefer Sherwood? What is the max term you would give him on his next contract? Let us know down in the comments. And speaking on comments, let's go straight in the comments of today. Coming through it, this team did exactly what it needed. They got young. If everyone plays up to their potential and steps into their power, this is a scary dark horse team, and I like the positivity. This is a very young Canucks team. We're seeing a lot of Abbotsford players come up. Lucas Reichel acquired. A lot of the defensemen are rookies. This is a team that has a lot of potential. Once they get healthy, it's going to be even bigger, and they'll make a trade at some point. Let me know all your thoughts on this Canucks team. What do you think they're going to look like after this week span? Will they go out to beat Winnipeg, Carolina? Are they going to beat Tampa and Florida in the bloodbath of back-to-backs in Miami? Let us know down in the comments, and you could be featured on Comment of the Day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, and take care, Canucks fans.